What's up, guys? It's Collinmgray here, the Swole Nurse, and I have a topic that I'd like to take a minute to discuss. I have a few friends. I'm out here sitting in my car. I'm scrolling through social media, and a lot of my younger friends that I know, and you know, I'm only 27 years old, and my wife is 24. We're not very old, and unfortunately, a lot of people that I've known are going through issues in their life of abusive relationships and single parenthood and marriage and divorce and things of that nature. And my wife and I have been happily married for 5 years now, and we have a beautiful son who is getting close to being 2 years old now. It's crazy. He's getting big very fast, but that's another video. What I want to talk about is all these people who seem to be going through relationship issues, and I think a large majority of that, and hopefully it can help some people out here, is not focusing on God first. If you have a strong relationship with the Lord, you're going to have a lot of respect for yourself, and in turn, you're not really going to waste any time on people who don't have the same respect for you. I'm not saying that relationships, you don't have problems, you don't have issues that you have to work out with, but you learn how to grow together with that over years as a couple. It's not an immediate thing. Now, if you're walking down the aisle and you know, you have hesitation and things of that nature, you shouldn't even be to that hesitation point ever. If you're in a relationship for 3 months and you don't see yourself spending the rest of your life with that person at that point, you shouldn't even be in that relationship anymore. That person's not for you. You know immediately whether that person is worth investing their time into you or not. I'm not saying that you shouldn't date people, but you know, sex needs to not be a part of that. Unfortunately, too many people get caught up in the fact that men and women actually fit together when they get under the covers, and assuming that that means that they should be together, which is not the case. You know, sex is a thing where you know, it feels good and your body makes a connection and your soul makes a connection, but unfortunately sometimes your spirits don't really connect together the way that they should, the way that the Lord intended them. You know, sex is supposed to be a gift from God for married women and men to share together, and unfortunately people don't do that anymore, which I think is a big issue. You know, you have that time period in the beginning of a relationship where it's fresh, it's new, it's exciting, and you love being around that person, but then something happens along the way and some people never get off the train. And I just want to let you guys know that if you're going through something like that right now, have enough respect for yourself to recognize that you don't need to waste your life dealing with those sorts of things. Like I said again, I'm not saying that relationships don't have their issues, and when I say relationship, I mean marriage. If you're having relationship issues before marriage, there shouldn't be an issue. You shouldn't be with that person. Now, there's a difference between committing and there's a difference between settling. Commitment is something that you promise before you and the Lord with your husband or wife at the altar. That's where the commitment starts in a marriage, not before that. You're not committed to that person. You don't owe that person anything to stick it out. They haven't made that promise with you. And one thing I have to say about divorce and things of that nature, you got to be careful when you're making that promise, because it is designed to be for life. Now, I'm not saying that you should stay in a relationship once you're married as a Christian that is abusive or unhealthy. What I'm saying is you should have enough respect, and you should put enough time and investment into your relationship beforehand to never have to go through that. Now, I know a lot of things are unforeseen, but you can't tell me that this day and age with people living together and things of that nature that there isn't some sort of a hint of something in the beginning that you can't say you didn't know. I'm not saying that every relationship has that sort of a thing to it. I'm saying that 99% of the time, I would say that issues that go on in a marriage, whether it be money or gambling or alcoholism or abuse or things of that nature, they don't just start out of nowhere. You know, there are signs that lead up to these things, and if you're not seeing those signs, that's you choosing to ignore it. So I don't want to get too far into this. I just want to let everybody know that, you know, there is a way. The moment I stopped trying to make relationships work and started working for myself is the moment I met my wife. We've been, you know, happily married for five years now, and I know that's not really a long time, but we're pretty young, and I don't ever see it. It's not a thought in my mind that this woman is the woman I'm going to spend, that I'm spending the rest of my life with. There's no doubt. So I want you to know that love can be found, love can grow, but you've got to put God first, and you've got to put yourself before the relationship. Otherwise the relationship will never work. Once you make that marriage commitment and you start transitioning, that's when you start living for the other person, not living for yourself. Now that could be difficult too, and I'm going to touch on that in a whole nother time, in a whole nother video. But living for yourself is not easy. It is a learning process, living for somebody else. You go your whole life living for yourself and doing things because you want to. Then when you come into marriage, it's the other way around. You know, a lot of people will make fun of me or give me a hard time because, you know, somebody will say, hey, do you want to go to the gym? Or, hey, do you want to go get a beer? And I'll say, babe, do we got anything going on? Can I go? It's not because I feel like I need to ask her permission. It's because I have enough respect for her. If her schedule doesn't allow for that, then I'm not going to do it. If she's already made other plans, if she's already put effort into something on that day, I'm not going to just go do what I want. I'm going to do what she wants. But she also has enough respect for me in the same way that she's not going to make me do those things if they're not needed. It's a give and take relationship. So have respect for your spouse, have respect for yourself, put God first, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Put your comments down below on what you think about this, and hopefully from one young person to another, I've come to you in a time where I can help. Hopefully you can take something from this and see the right path to work on. So once again, this is Colin G, the Swole Nurse. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. God bless.